Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. This podcast is a conversation between two business partners, Joanne Kandrac and Kelly Kole. Join us for a lively conversation about all things interior design, from current projects, trade show experiences, worldwide travel, what's in, what's out, and all the challenges and wins they've had running their successful design business. Whether you're a seasoned interior designer, new to the industry, or a creative enthusiast, you will walk away with insightful information, newfound inspiration, and a smile on your face after listening to these two. And here they are, Joanne and Kelly.
Okay,
You're doing the intro.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing the intro. Okay, ready, get set, go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 158 of Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. This is Joanne.
I'm going to jump
Kandrac.
in here. Hey, can I keep that? Can I keep this?
Yes.
All right,
Let me see what it looks like.
That was an awesome opening. Forget about what it looks
We
like.
need
Trust
bloopers.
me. All right, back to the show.
Okay.
Okay. Should I start over?
No,
Keep going.
This is it.
This
we're
is live.
rolling.
Okay.
This
So-
is it. Unless you tell me otherwise, get Russ.
I'm
out
starting
there.
over.
Get
Hey,
the
I'm
flow.
starting over. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 158 of Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole. This is Joanne Kandrac, and today we're talking about our trip to High Point this spring of 2023. We literally just pulled in last night, so all of this information is very fresh.
And we're a little giddy
Yeah.
because we're a little
Yeah.
tired.
So we didn't set up as many appointments as we normally do this time. We wanted to just be free to roam, which was very different, and we really, really enjoyed that. So we were able to find some new accounts. We built some new relationships with people, and we were just inspired as we just kind of roamed.
Yeah.
We had an amazing, successful Inside Designers tour that we've been talking about for a while.
Mhm.
Stay tuned because we're going to give you all of the insights and the trends we saw from this market.
But before we start chatting about High Point, we want to tell you that this episode is sponsored by our friends at Gabby Home. Gabby is one of our go-to brands for everything from upholstery to lighting to case goods. Their transitional designs are super easy to insert into any project. You can take it in any direction. And you can visit their To the Trade showrooms. They've got one in Atlanta, High Point, and Dallas. And while you're there, check out some of our favorites. We love the Gordon pendant. The Arrington cabinet is amazing, and the Lambert counter stool. We have so many, but we just want to throw out a few faves. So visit them at gabbyhome.com, and they have given us a special offer to tell you all. So if you go to gabbyhome.com
Just
KK.
slash.
KK,
Yeah.
then you will get a special discount.
And actually, Gabby was on our tour this market.
Yes.
And Gabby also owns Summer Classics, which is their outdoor line. So all of our tour people loved the
it.
showroom. It has just a little bit of everything for everybody. So yeah, thank you, Gabby, for sponsoring us.
Yeah. All right, let's dive in.
Okay.
We went early this time. We normally show up. High Point usually starts on Friday, and we usually
Official day is Saturday, believe it or not. The official, if you look at the
Really?
dates, it says the 22nd to the 26th, but people always come early.
Oh, okay. Well, we're always there on Friday, and inevitably for some showrooms it's not early enough. But we went on Thursday this time.
Mhm.
And we went because we wanted to attend the very first Vacation Rental Design Summit. And it was the inaugural one. It was held on Thursday and Friday at Cogden Yards upstairs in their loft. And it was put on by HPXD, which is High Point After Dark, which is a organization led by Jane Dagme, who is really starting to push High Point being open year round. So amazing showrooms are a part of HPXD. And so this was a sold out event.
Yes, for being the first one, it was
Yeah.
very, very well done. They had some great speakers. They had Barclay Butera, Toby Fairley, Ginger Curtis, and Joy Williams. And they talked about a variety of subjects from luxury market of short-term rentals
Yep.
to the power of AI, artificial
Yes.
intelligence, to designing responsibly.
Yeah. So this was really the brainchild of our good friend Jessica Deuce, who is an amazing vacation rental designer. And she partnered with Jane, and together with High Point Market Authority and HBXD, they just turned on the coolest event, which for any of you that have ever been to a conference or tried to even initiate a conference, you know what a feat that is. And so we're really excited because we're really hoping they do it next market. I can't believe they wouldn't. And
There was a lot of great subjects. I mean, you don't have to do just vacation rentals, but you never know. You might have a client that wants to do one. You may yourself have one and decide you need to step it up. So it would be great that this is now out in our industry. And they talked about so many great things that we would have never thought about.
Mhm.
There was a woman there who designs for people with wheelchairs and special needs, talked about how you need to have certain things. There was another girl who talked about when she went to a vacation rental, she's Asian and they had chopsticks just as an alternative. So all those little things help to make your rental stand out, as well as the design, but all that good stuff. So
one thing that I walked away with so many tidbits, but one is, I guess I've stayed in a million Airbnbs, but I always thought that they were kind of mid-range rental option, but I guess because I was never looking for super duper luxury Airbnb, but oh boy, they seriously exist and it's a huge thing. So if you're thinking, oh no, that's, I don't flip houses and make them cheap rentals, and this isn't what this is. This is like all about the luxury vacation rental opportunities that are out there. And it was fascinating. So
great information.
Yeah, so good. Kudos to Jessica and Jane because it truly was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then Friday we roamed.
Yes.
And Saturday was our Insiders Tour, which you guys know we've been calling out. It sold out. We were very grateful that our tour sold out pretty fast.
Well, you know what? It's an incredible free program.
Yes.
For designers that are new to High Point to learn the ropes, because we've mentioned a million, I don't even know how many acres it is. I don't even know how many showrooms they have, but it's so overwhelming. You would get there and you wouldn't even know where to start because it's all really spread out.
Yeah.
So it's a very successful program. This year we had for 16, we had a fantastic group of people. They
so
were
great.
from Canada, California, Indiana, Ohio, North and South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Massachusetts.
That's ridiculous.
For somebody to come from California, that's a pretty big deal. And she said that she found out about from listening to our podcast. And we're like, wow, like, how did you find it? And she said she just looked up interior design and then she just started listening, and she's been listening for a long time. And she finally just decided to do it. So that makes us feel really, really good.
And she was a PA, or she is a PA, I guess, and she's got young kids. Hi, Kelly. And she's jumping into the world of interior design and she's doing it. And she has a great eye and she's diving in.
But there was a moment.
Yes, there was a moment.
So
there was lots of moments.
There were lots of moments.
This one stands out.
So we, Universal Furniture's one of the major sponsors of it. So all of the groups, there was 3 other designers besides us that had groups, and we all meet at Universal. We get our people all together, and then they kind of start to talk about the tour and introduce everybody. But right before that, they have a breakfast for like 30 minutes. So Kelly and I walked in, and Jessica Deuce, that we just talked about from the Vacation Rental Design Summit, came up to us. She goes, I have to introduce you to somebody. So there was a girl standing there, and she just had this look on her face, and she said, I just have to tell you guys that your podcast was the wormhole to my interior design, for me starting my interior design business. And she got really choked up, and she was practically crying. And Jessica, God love her, she wanted to get this on video.
Yeah.
And she was doing it, and we're like, this is so great. And then she forgot to hit the record button. So, but it really happened. And
she said, I would have never come to High Point, but you made me feel like I could do it. And And that's totally why I'm here. And she said, I'm completely starstruck, even like being in your presence. And we're looking at each other like, girl, it's okay. We're like normal gals, but you have just made our week, our month,
Well, High Point is very intimidating.
It is totally.
Very.
Yeah.
So it feels so good to do this. It's really one of those.
It's our give back moment.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's such a win-win really for everybody.
So our tour, the other designers were Linda Holt, who's been on our show, who's amazing. Jessica Deuce and Elizabeth Scruggs were a team. And then Rachel Moriarty, who's another fabulous designer. And so each of us curate our own tour of showrooms.
Oh, Jeannie Chung.
I'm sorry, Jeannie Chung. Jeannie Chung out of California, who's amazing. And so we each curate our own tour based on kind of, our aesthetic, where our relationships lie, what have you. And so we choose showrooms that kind of new designers can start building relationships with. We're not going to bring you to some of our showrooms that, have a $40,000 opening order and you have to be, the president of the United States to open an account. Yeah. So we're not doing that.
And we tried to vary it, accessories, lighting, rugs, so that there was a little bit of everything. And the great thing about it is we have to, we have to hit a lot of places. So we don't have a lot of time, but it's just, we can bring them into the showroom, give them like a quick introduction, and whoever, was leading would give them the information that they needed. And then they could find their rep in their area.
Yes.
So it's a great way to just get them kind of started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started at Universal for the breakfast. And so we stayed there and toured there for a little bit. Then we moved over to Gabby Home, our sponsor, and Summer Classics, because that's a hit with everybody. Then we crossed the street. We went to Wendover Art and had lunch and learned all about their art line and all that they can do. Then we went to, did we jump on the shuttle at that point? Yes. We jumped on a shuttle. Transportation was fantastic. We had buses, little shuttle buses waiting for us. Took us up to IHFC, the big building, and we went to Uttermost and Revelation. Then we walked down to Market Square and we went to Tebow, our favorite wall covering and fabric company. And we went to Hudson Valley Lighting. And then we also dipped our toe into the Antique and Design Center there in Market Suites, Market Square. And then we ended for fun and conversation at Jaipur Rugs, which is another favorite of ours.
But one of the cool things is, as part of our home, or what we need to do as guides, is to at least visit 3 different areas.
Oh, I forgot.
So that everybody gets sort of an idea of where things are. And then to do one educational event.
Yes.
So last year when we went, or in the fall when we went, it was Justina Blakeney, which was really great.
Awesome.
But this year it was a panel, and Joanna Gaines happened to be on this panel. So it was going to be really, really well attended. But what was so great is we didn't realize this, but the High Point Market Authority, for all of the tour guides and their attendees, got these little VIP badges that got us in, and they had saved seats for us in the first 4 rows.
Because it was in the High Point Theater, which holds 900 people, and it was standing room only.
So it started at 2:00. At 12:30, we were on our way to Uttermost, and the line was already wrapped around the building. So
we felt very important.
So when we came in, we got
in
the slide right in.
But on the panel was moderated by Dennis Scully of Business of Home. If you
the best voice.
If you don't listen to that podcast, you just got to listen. He's amazing. Great moderator. Amber Lewis, Gene Stouffer, they all had huge fan base. I think Joanna was the draw, but everybody was. The others were just as fantastic.
Mara Miller.
Oh, Mara Miller and Jesse Carrier, husband and wife, amazing team out of New York City. And then Julia Markham of Chris Loves Julia. And they were talking about designing a business that you love. And it was funny. It was natural. They were talking a lot about imposter syndrome, which I loved.
That was the most interesting thing to me. And I thought to myself, watching Joanna Gaines say that she sometimes felt imposter syndrome because she didn't have a design degree. She wasn't an architect. She wasn't doing any of that. So she felt kind of intimidated because she didn't have all those credentials. And so that's funny because I don't have those credentials. And there's a lot of designers that don't have those credentials. And I think
and oh, by the way, the married couple were the only ones on the panel that had a college degree.
Yeah.
The only ones.
And so, of course, that's great.
That had a design degree of any kind.
That's great. And a lot of these, like Amber Lewis and Chris Love Julia just kind of like fell into it. That it was something they always loved. So it was so great to hear that, because designers, I don't know, we're kind of like artists. We can be very humble. Some of us. We can be very humble.
What are you pointing at me for?
Not you. I didn't mean you. Can be very humble, and like artists will be like, oh, that piece isn't really quite done yet. Like we really are kind of hard on ourselves. And so it was just so interesting to hear that. And for anybody that was in that audience that felt that way, I mean, to hear that from Joanna Gaines, it's like, hey, if all these people could do it. So I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. It was very, Dennis Scully, shout out to you because you did a great job, and High Point Market Authority for putting it together.
Yep.
So, okay. We know this is what you all want to hear. What are the trends? What did you see? What was jumping out? So let's dive in. Okay.
Well, before we get to the new ones, we have to, there's still some that carry over.
Yes, for sure.
I have a love-hate with boucle. Boucle is that fabric that is kind of like sheep wool. It's very textury or whatever. It's on everything.
I still like it.
I like it.
I think it's a great texture.
And wicker rattan in furniture, lighting. It's around mirrors,
pedestals, wrapped around the handle of anything. I mean, and I love that. And I don't mind that it's still around, and I hope it stays.
I feel like that's a classic. I think that will stick around.
But I do like the fine weave. I don't really like the thicker. I like the abaca and the tiny weaves. And you can see a difference in the quality for like what Mainly Baskets does or what Red Egg does, as opposed to some of the copycats.
So a new one.
Yes.
Scalloped edges. Hudson Valley had a beautiful what do you call those?
Picture light
that were in like navy blue, gold, and white. That had the scallop edge with the cord hanging down. That
just gives it a little bit of quirky fun to it, but that was done in a very stylish way.
Yes, very beautiful. And then Mainly Baskets, they have a new collection, and in tables and even little ottomans that had the scallop around the edges. There's a whole collection that has all those scallops.
So
which
sweet.
Was really beautiful,
but not like stupid. It was really nice. Like in terms of like people may like scallops, that's too, frilly or girly or whatever. But no, this is all really well done.
Yes.
I really loved it.
Plaid, which I love. Plaid. Glad to see it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a great, some great patterns in Fiberworks, which is rugs. They had some beautiful plaids. And then Norwalk had some fabrics that were in plaid. I'm sure there were many others, but those were the two that stood out for us.
Norwalk had this huge sectional where it was an off plaid, meaning it wasn't, perfectly symmetrical. And they had matched it from the top of the sofa, down the cushions, over the seat, down the skirt in a perfect match.
She said it took
beautiful.
them 8 hours in the factory to put it together.
Just to figure out the templating of it, not just making it. Yeah. It's amazing. I loved it. I love plaid.
I do too.
Floral.
A lot of floral.
This is going to grow on me. It's funny because I love flowers. I love gardening. I love it.
There's a fine line.
I don't know. I love
between
it
like the cabbage roses and remember the Waverly that way back in the day.
Maybe
it's different
PTSD
now.
Or something.
It's
I don't
different
know.
now.
But like when you look on the screen right now, you see the Tebow wallpaper. Like that is just beautiful to me. And it's not your grandmother's floral. Yeah. It's very sophisticated.
It makes a room wow. Just think if that was just a white wall.
Mm-hmm.
It still would be beautiful. The artwork's beautiful, but that just gives it like wow. It's a wow.
Mm-hmm.
It is wow.
It is wow.
All right, texture. That was the word. Texture everywhere.
Yeah, and it's I think the neutral phase is still out there. It's still huge. Color is, we'll get to that. Color's making its way in a big splash, but Neutrals are still out there. And so it's the art of texture that makes a design with neutrals successful.
Yeah.
So we see it mixed with leather, mixed with velvet, mixed with nail heads, mixed with rope, mixed with metal, mixed with,
as a matter of fact, the girl
everything.
that was taking us around Wendover was saying that they were being asked and being pushed for more texture in their artwork.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And they really did it this time. They had some of the most beautiful pieces, but then the texture just added a whole nother element to it.
Yeah. And I like having those sources because it's what makes a design so yummy and rich and cozy is all those different things all mixed together. They're not flat.
Another one, which was kind of surprising, and it doesn't have to be just in coastal, was oversized palms. Oh my God. Curry and Company had that white light fixture that had the palms kind of, it was sort of like a, I don't know, it was. They had
an entire hallway that had all these big like vessels and pots, and with these massive all white, they were fake. They were made out of paper, I think. Like all those white palms.
They might have been plaster. I don't think it was paper.
No?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay,
we'll find out.
It looked like gesso. It looked plasterish. It was white. They were huge, and they're coming out of these big, huge pots, and then mixed with the white gesso, massive, oversized light fixtures against like a sisal wall. Oh my God, it was awesome. And I didn't think it was overly coastal.
Well, you think of palm when I say palm, I'm talking about like the palm leaves.
Yes,
palm leaves, not necessarily palm trees.
No, palm leaves.
Palm leaves,
big leaves. Yes,
and it was in a lot of wallpaper at Tebow as well.
Interesting.
Yep.
And then here's the big color combo that we saw everywhere. Okay, in terms of combo, we walked into Norwalk and literally Joanne's dress matched the display.
Caroline Hippel, the president of the company, she's like, "Oh, hold on." And she came back with a pillow that literally had the exact same colors as my dress did.
So it was, here it's on the screen if you're watching YouTube. It is blush, gold,
navy,
like a mossy green, camel. That's the combo.
I don't think there's green in that though.
Well, there were in other combos.
Okay.
In other combos. Yeah. I'd say the navy was swapped for the mossy green.
Yeah.
But combined with the blush, the gold, the camel, and the gray.
It was really just a pretty, if you have a very neutral room and you want to give some pops of color, that wasn't screaming.
No.
But it had a little bit of navy. It had a little bit, so, have some artwork that has just a little bit of that color or whatever. That's kind of what makes it so cool. Look at Caroline. If you're watching us on YouTube, Caroline just looks so excited.
She is so excited
to be showing that pillow.
Then we saw it, like we went to Curry. Curry and Company sells lighting, but they also sell a lot of furniture, and they also sell unique pottery collections. And there was this grouping of pottery that was like dead on. So I loved that color combination. Russ is showing it on the screen. It's just, look at that. That's it in a nutshell. Yep. So, but then in terms of like singular colors, coral, like a deep, beautiful, rich coral. We saw it on walls. We saw it in fabrics. We saw it on furniture.
In art.
Yeah.
It just was everywhere.
Go ahead.
And then the moss green, really, which I want to say, if we had to say one color that kind of dominated the market, was green. And
moss green, deep green, hunter green, like greens that I in the past haven't liked because it reminded me of that burgundy gold green combo from like the 80s. This is fresh and rich and but also, bless you,
that is the first time I've ever sneezed on a podcast in 158 episodes.
You were very
probably
quiet.
didn't hear it. You probably didn't hear it because I was trying to kind of make it.
It was very ladylike,
but it came out. Okay, sorry about that.
But as I was saying, the other color that I saw was gold.
Yeah,
and it's
like a camel gold,
but also gold, like we're bringing, like the 70s is coming back. watch out, here it comes. But again, it's when it's reinvented, it's fresh, and you really just got to check it out. Don't put your nose up in the air at it before you see it.
And then what happens? You start to see it over and over and over.
Yeah, and then it grows on you.
It grows on you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What next?
Okay, another trend, but this was also at Last Market, was that tambour wood, which we just explained to you. It's kind of like a dowel that's cut in half, and the wood pieces are like reeded coming down all over furniture,
all over.
Actually, the Universal showroom, and we thought this was such a great idea. They put it on sliding doors, like a barn door, but instead they had the tambour wood.
It looks so amazing.
Another thing about High Point Market, just so you know, the way that some of these showrooms, the way they style them and the space plans and the things they do are such a great education as well, because it gives us some great ideas, or I would have never put that together. So
I like to look at how the beds are made.
Yeah.
Because I'm very perfect with the bed. And I like to see the kind of loosey-goosey designs of bedding and pillows and layering. And it gives me great ideas.
Yeah. So,
but mixed with the tambour, we saw the tambour in a lot of black.
Yes, this time.
Not just the natural kind of light tan wood color that is what I think of when I think of tambour. And we saw it in a lot of different ways, like she was saying, on the sliding barn doors. Oh my God, that was so cool. But also in the capsule, a lot of furniture, like we discussed in a previous show, being very rounded and oval and soft edges. And the tambour naturally, works with those pieces, and it looked super good. Yeah, super good.
And then the other one is white gesso, which is spelled Gesso. It looks kind of like plaster. Curry and Company and Visual Comfort both have a lot of lighting in that white gesso. I absolutely love it.
Obsessed.
And we presented it to our client where we're doing the whole house of lighting. And she's like, I'm a little nervous about that. Can I see some others? We showed her some other things. And then she came back to it. She goes, I'm going to take a chance on this one. And I think she's going to end up being very happy. But I think white gesso is kind of nice.
It's just fresh. I mean, we're mixing metals all day long. Yeah. It's just a nice reprieve, you know?
And if you don't want to finish per se, or if you're using it in a room that has dark walls, or, it really pops. Yes. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. Oyster shells. Who would have thunk it? But when we were at Wendover with the tour, Wendover recently purchased Low Country Originals. Low Country Originals is based in South Carolina in the Charleston Low Country area. And they do beautiful artwork and mirrors and lighting and a lot of customization. But they have a lot of chandeliers that are made with oyster shells. And their people literally go out in boats and scoop up oyster shells. They're not killing oysters, or they're not harvesting oysters. They're taking ones that are already being found as the shells, and they hand pick which ones they're using and their lighting. And you can actually specify, okay, I don't want one, that has all the purple and the blue in it. I really want like a light or a light gray one, and they'll make that for you. So
talk about texture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. But where else?
Curry has a whole collection of them, and Universal had some as well.
Yeah. That was. I mean, we always see it at certain manufacturers, but I was surprised to see so much of it.
And then this is not a new trend, but it's amazing to me. Sometimes people will say, "Oh, so was wallpaper back in style?" And it is. It's been. And it was in every every showroom, has it as a backdrop. So wallpaper, I think, is
all day long,
is here to stay for sure.
Here to stay. Okay, we got to wrap it up. But before we get to our quotes, I just want to give a shout out to Curry and Company for hosting an amazing panel at The Point, which was this kind of temporary pop-up trailer that was glam to the nines in the middle of town. And we watched a panel moderated by our friend Gary Inman, and it was Alejandra Thompson, Jordan Thompson of Thompson Traders, Michelle Boyd, our friend from here in Atlanta, and Marjorie Secouras from Mérida, Mexico. Amazing creatives in their own right, all from different backgrounds, and it was all about how they have built their creative businesses, but it was such a diverse perspective.
Yes.
It was amazing.
We get so inspired by some of these people. It's just so nice to. That's the thing about High Point too. You're going there for furniture, but you're getting so much more. Even if you just sit, sometimes your feet need a break, and so you're going to just sit there and listen to this panel for 45 minutes, and all of a sudden you look at things different. Like it really. This is one of the things that Kelly and I just love because we just learned so much, and it's great to just hear different. Everybody has a different story, but there's always something that's kind of like the same with everyone.
Just a quick little tidbit from that panel. Alejandra was telling us she works with Thompson Traders. That's their family business. We've talked about them on the show, bespoke items for kitchen and baths. But she used to be the marketing director for Chanel. And they would have, and she came from a different background, and she would, when she first got to Chanel, she had like all of her analytics and her, she knew what the market was doing.
What is everybody doing? Yeah.
And she came to her first meeting and she's pulling out all this stuff, and they're looking at her like, well, what's all that? And she's like, oh, well, this is what this competitor's doing and this competitor's doing. And they said, we don't care about that.
We don't follow trends.
We don't follow trends. We are the trend. We are, we create what we want to create.
So everything we just told you about the trends, don't worry about it.
Whoa. Just think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
listening to her speak with the rest of them was just amazing.
It was a great trip. It was
a really good trip. I was energized more than normal, I think, because we didn't kill ourselves with appointments and a rigid schedule.
Yeah.
That was really good.
All right. So we've got a couple of very good quotes. The funny quote I can't believe that. It's like when you read this and you think, really, I have to figure this out. So, of course, this is from Stash Bam. We love their quotes. Birmingham.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest with you guys. I don't understand how the gas nozzle knows when to stop. How does it know?
I laughed out loud when I read that. We were typing the outline in the car.
If somebody knows, let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here is your serious quote to wrap up our topic today. Success in business requires training, discipline, and hard work. But if you're not frightened by these things, the opportunities are just as great today as they ever were. Think about that. And that's from David Rockefeller, who lived to be 101, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The opportunities are just as great today as they ever were, as long as you're not frightened of discipline, hard work, training.
Yep.
It's an easy equation.
It's really common sense.
Equation. Yeah.
Common sense.
Yep. So
I was thinking as I was driving in this morning, we've never really kind of reached out to any of you and asked us what you might want to hear. So
how dare us?
If you have anything that you want us to talk about, we would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
So you can send us an email at info@kandrac-kole.com. And I would love to hear your thoughts or what you would like to listen to.
Yes.
Let us know.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Gabby Home. We loved seeing you at High Point, and we appreciate your sponsorship. Everybody follow us at Kandrac-Kole.com. See what we're up to. And a big thanks again to High Point Market Authority and all of our tour guide attendees. We loved you guys.
A big shout out to you attendees. Yes.
You did a great job.
Keep the conversations going.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly for a new episode every other Friday as they continue to explore the nuances of the interior design business with the goal of informing, inspiring, and entertaining their listeners. See their work at Kandrac-Kole.com and engage with them on Facebook and Instagram at Kandrac Kole.